Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another exciting meeting at Interpersonal Toastmasters. At Interpersonal, it's all about you. You. Let me invite the Toastmaster of the day, this gentleman who always has a smile on his face. And today he's talking about habits, atomic habits that define you, me, or anyone else. Toastmaster Piyush, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. So, Sukrut, if I got that right, you are guest in our meeting?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Welcome to our group. And I'm glad that you have taken the step to attend this meeting. I hope you find that helpful and join us even more. You're welcome to continue to join us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Let me start with a story about the British cycling team. Once upon a time, a year prior to 2003, the British cycling team wasn't doing well. They won just one single medal in a span of 100 years. One renowned cycling brand did not even want to sell their cycle to this team. Their reputation was so bad. Comes year 2003, a guy called Dave Brailsford is hired to be the coach and lead the team to success. Dave Brailsford and his team started making really small changes to what team is doing and the equipments that they are using. For example, they started with changing the seats of the cycle to make it a little bit more comfortable. They started rubbing alcohol on the tires to make the grip better. They started using biosensing technology to make the exercises adapt to the individual cyclist and help them better. They changed the suit of the cyclist in a way that it's a bit more aerodynamic and help them speed faster. Dave Brailsford and his team made those small changes over a span of 5 years. And the British team goes into an international Olympic event and wins 60% of the medals available. Look what happened to this team who were failing for 100 years. And then a coach comes in, incorporates really seemingly unnoticeable small changes over a period of time and made this team into a champion. If you become 1% better every day, at the end of the year, just by simple compounding, you become 37 times better. If you become 1% worse every day, by the end of the year, you decimate to nothing, 0%. That's the power of those small changes that Dave Brailsford and his team did, and they led the team to glory. If you put an ice cube in a room with an intent to melt it, and let's say the room temperature is 0, you start increasing the room temperature, increase it by 1 degree, ice wouldn't melt. Increase 1 more degree, 2 degrees, ice would still not melt. 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 5 degrees, it will not melt. The moment temperature raises from 31 degree to 32 degree, that's when the magic happens. All of the effort that was going on to increase the temperature every single degree over a span from 1 degree to 31 degree paid off all of a sudden at 32 degrees when the ice starts to melt. To some people, this might think as an overnight success, whoever is watching the ice to melt from the 31 degree to 32 degree. But then we know that it was not an overnight success, but something that happened from 1 degree to 32 degree. Look at a stone cutter. He throws 100 blows to a stone and nothing happens to the stone. And then he throws the 101st blow and the stone breaks. the first 100 blows, or the temperature that was from 1 degree to 31 degree, there's hardly any noticeable result that you see. This time is called valley of disappointment, or a plateau of latent potential, because you are building in that particular time. So the moral of all of the story is that you need to incorporate really small, seemingly unnoticeable habits over a period of time for you to see all of a sudden a dramatic change in your behavior or whatever you're trying to achieve. But you might ask, Piyush, I make this New Year resolution to develop a habit, and within 1 week, I'm done. I don't do it anymore. How do I make it persistent? We'll talk about it later in this session on how you can make those habits sticky. But before that, let's go to our grammarian of the day, Raghu, and learn about what is our word of the day today.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Talking about atomic habits, the word that I get reminded of is perpetual. Perpetual is an adjective, and these are three different usages. First thing is, which means never ending, deep caves in perpetual darkness. And second meaning is that people who never change and always never ending problems, or those people with perpetual money worries, say unlimited thing. He grows perpetual blooming flowers. It's an adjective and you can use as you want. I wish you all the best, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu. You are the perpetual source of all of our happiness and learning, and we are really thankful to you for that. Moving on to our next segment, we have 2 prepared speeches and 1 table topic. The very first of the 2 prepared speeches would be delivered by our very own Toastmaster Grace. And the title of the speech is Thankful, Grateful, and Blessed. And it is from the project Using a Presentation Software. What an apt topic to deliver, which is very close to the Thanksgiving Day. So over to you, Toastmaster Grace, to deliver the speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Piyush. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, before that, can you get the speech objectives from Catherine?
Thank you so much. Grace, congratulations that you are attempting your pathway, presenting with software. We expect the following from your speech. It will be 5 to 7 minutes. The speech you're going to present is from any topic of your choice. We will be looking out for clear, legible, and effective slides that enhance your speech or your topic. And we're looking forward to other principles like clarity, vocal variety, eye contact, your gestures, audience awareness, and comfort level. Thank you very much. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Over to you, Toastmaster Grace.
Thank you, Toastmaster Piyush. Can I share my screen now before I begin? Toastmaster
Yes.
Raghu? Still disabled.
Can do it now.
Okay, hold on. Can you all see my screen? Okay. Sir Eckhart Tolle once said that acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation of all abundance. But when confronted with different problems and issues with daily lives, sometimes it is really hard to practice how to be truly grateful. Today, let me share with you a practice that keeps me sane and healthy. especially when confronted with many different life's issues and troubles. The word gratitude is derived from the Latin word gratia, which means grace, graciousness, or gratefulness, and it encompasses all of these meanings. With gratitude, people acknowledge all the good things in their lives, and as a result, being grateful helps them to connect something larger than themselves. This could be with other person, individual, nature, or the higher power. Gratitude is a two-part experience. It's a recognition that something good has come your way and a realization that someone or something, it could be the nature or divine entity, is responsible for that good thing that happened to you. However, gratitude is not toxic positivity, where you put positivity into an extreme. It is not only focusing on the good and ignoring the hard feelings and negative thoughts. Rather, you recognize that even in the hard days, you can still receive something good in your life. Now that we understood what gratitude means, let us first understand the benefits of it and why you should bring it perpetually in your daily life. Gratitude can promote joy. Researcher Bryn Brown of the University of Houston has spent many years studying gratitude, and she found that those who experience joy actively participate or practice gratitude. They say that appreciating the positive things in life is connected to dispositional gratitude, and that it really increases the state of joy. And as you become more grateful, you might also feel more joyful. Gratitude also improves your sense of life satisfaction. The study conducted among those people who perpetually practice gratitude in their life found that they are more satisfied with their lives because of their daily practice. They have found greater and effective coping strategies. They are more likely to report subjective feeling of happiness because they always feel supported by peers and family members. And they are less likely to experience low mood and symptoms of depression, and they have better mental or emotional functioning. Gratitude lastly can even help you stay focused. As you see here in the slide, this part of your brain, which is your medial prefrontal cortex, is found to be more active when you are displaying gratitude. This is associated with an area of your brain for learning and decision making, and they say that people who perpetually are grateful are also attentive. In another study conducted among college students, they are more likely to be more alert and focused in their classes because they are practicing gratitude daily. Now that we have learned what gratitude means and its great benefits, it can also let me help you how you can bring it to your daily practice. Tip number 1, write down the things that you are grateful for. When you write down the things that you are grateful for, it can directly impact your mood throughout the day. It can also improve your sleeping quality. This doesn't mean that it has to be big or grand, but it can be just simply like drinking a cup of coffee or hugging a friend or a spouse or even a child. Writing them down is really good because it is a way for you to come back at the end of the week what you have written down. And it is connected to the next tip that I'm going to share with you. That is writing a gratitude journal. You see, when you write, The parts of your brain that is related to memory and emotion gives you a new perspective. A gratitude journal has been found to activate the areas of your brain that gives you positive emotions. And when you're reading the words that you have written, especially those about gratefulness, it can really make you feel better, especially when you are struggling in your daily routine. Third tip that I want to share with you is to thank someone new each week. I know that we are all connected at some point and at somehow. But my question is, how often do we take time to seriously express gratitude consciously or thoughtfully? My challenge to you is to purposely choose someone each week where you can express your gratitude. There are many ways you can do that. You can do a nonverbal communication like a smile, eye contact, or even writing them down a small letter or note, just like what you have in the slides. There are so many ways where you can really express how to be grateful to someone. And as I end this presentation on gratitude, I want to challenge all of you on how you can practice and bring it to your daily life. And of course, I want to listen how being thankful, grateful, and blessed really made an impact in your daily routine. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Grace. That was a wonderful speech. And I'm really thankful to you to deliver that speech. I did not know that gratitude has so much of benefit, like it increases your mood, happiness, and helps you be alert. That's truly fascinating. Moving on to the next speech of the day, which is pretty much connected to the theme of the meeting about habits, how habits created impact in a life. I would like to invite the evaluator of Toastmaster Aguila, Toastmaster Sangeeta, to share the speech objective before we go to the speech. Toastmaster Sangeeta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Piyush. I will be the evaluator for the second prepared speech by Speaker Aguila for the project Persuasive Influence Level 3, Connect with Storytelling, and with the title, How Habits Created Impact in Life. The objective for this speech would be to deliver the speech using a story or give a speech that is a story. The speech can include any type of story. It could be personal, a well-known fiction story, or one of the speaker's own creation. We are looking for vocal variety, clarity, eye contact, audience awareness, and interest in the speech. Good luck to Speaker Aguila. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Please go ahead, Toastmaster Aguila.
Thank you, Toastmaster Piyush. There's a beautiful saying, and it goes like this: your habits determine your future. It was said by Jack Canfield, and it is so damn true. I'm going to share a series of stories which have happened in my own personal life, which I have eyewitnessed, which I've seen from the day I have born. So the first thing what I want to share you with is my grandfather's story. I have seen my grandfather every single day waking up in the morning, and he has a bowl of warm water and he drinks it in empty stomach. He passed away this year in the month of March, and he was 98 years old. Till this date, he was completely on his own. I used to ask my grandfather, why drink warm water? We can have coffee, we can have tea, we can chill out. He says no. His habit has always been get up, drink one bowl of warm water, and he does not use all the fancy paste, fancy toothbrushes, nothing. He has a stick which is the wood, and he just brushes with that, and every single day, that's all. Now, even without any teeth also, he just uses his finger. And when I really think back, the small habits what he had has made him not just live longer, but stand on his own. A couple of years back, my father was diagnosed with cancer. And you all would be aware what is a series of therapies that they have to go through. And when we were taking him for radiation, the doctor said, we were so tense and so much was happening. And we just wanted things to pass by. And doctor said, see, we are going to give radiation. And during radiation, there'll be a lot of, it'll be hitting the brain and there'll be a lot of memory loss. And this dialogue didn't even hit us at that time because we just wanted my father to recover fast. Some months passed by, and I started noticing few changes in my father. So he'll have his breakfast. He forgot that if he's having his breakfast, he will, if he's doing something new, he will not remember what he's doing. He will ask the same questions again and again. But what I also noticed is the previous habits, previously what he has been doing for years together. The sugar tablet, every day he knows he has to eat one before food. He knows he has to eat one after food. He knows what time the kids go to school. So exactly at that time, which he's been so much tuned to, he goes, stands in the balcony, comes down, waits for the bus to stop, and he brings back the kids. I understood that if something is being part of your habit, even if someone having Alzheimer, or if someone is having dementia, if someone is trying to forget things, they will not forget something is part of your routine. Only the new things that he got used to, the new things he has to adapt to. Now with cancer, they gave a lot of tablets, lot of changes in his life. So a lot of food habits has to be changed. And that was extremely difficult, but the old things remained as is. And it was not a big struggle, because once you tune a person to a certain habit, it just sticks on to you so much. I thought I'll start getting up early and I'll start going for gym or doing walking or this and that, and nothing worked out. And I have thyroid, and my thyroid levels just shooted up to a very big extent. So I started walking. Initially, it was extremely difficult, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then 1 hour. It continued for some time. It was very good. My thyroid dropped very much to a normal level. And then I thought I'm good enough, and I stopped. The moment you stop something, you go back to zero. It is very, very important. If you cultivate a habit, you have to continue the habit. If you just stop just like that, it is of no use or no benefit. So I stopped I just stopped going for a walk, and I saw a massive difference again, then I have to rebuild. And trust me, when you have to rebuild a habit, something which you've already done, you might think it is easy, but it is not that so easy. You have to start from the scratch, and you know what the process is. So it is just that, again, you have to start doing from day 1, day 2, day 3. It is very, very important. When you start doing something, start it very, very slowly. Do not be in a hurry to achieve something really big, because you might hurt yourself. It might hurt your body, or you might feel demotivated, and you might think that you have not achieved it and you want to step back. So start slow and slowly build on it. It is not important to achieve something in a very short duration. It is important to keep on achieving things. So with my experiences, whatever I have seen, habits make a huge difference in your life. I've started making my daughter waking up in 4:30, and it doesn't matter now because she wakes up on her own. I've started going for gym, and it was very difficult the first few weeks. And then after that, it becomes a habit. You just get up. It is not even necessary. You just get up, your gym clothes are here. You have to take your bag. The moment you sleep in the night, you keep everything prepared. Once it becomes a habit, it is not like a previous days where everything is scattered. Go here, search this. What is this? Where is that? It becomes very, very clumsy. So it's very, very important. Your habits determine your future, and it is very important you choose your habits. One small mistake, it can lead to a big disaster. So it's purely in our hands. Choose your habits wisely. Over to you, Toastmaster Piyush.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Aguila, for delivering such a touching speech. You had us hooked from the beginning to the end. And thank you for sharing the tips regarding how to form habits. I see that we have a guest join our Toastmaster meeting. Thank you, Ajay, for joining the meeting, and congratulations on taking the steps to enhance your skills. So thank you for that. Moving on to our next segment. we have the table topics coming up. And the table topic would be conducted by our very own Toastmaster Jim. So I would like to invite Toastmaster Jim to run the table topics. Toastmaster Jim, over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. My first question is to Aguila. And I wanted to ask you, Aguila, what's the best way to choose a habit, in your opinion?
It's primarily what we really need. So if someone is having an intention to lose weight, choose a habit which will be part of your routine, which will intensely reduce your weight. Now, if I have a routine of eating a lot of junk food, it is not going to do it. So I have to just start being very conscious that I have to be cautious of my diet. So what am I eating? The first step to any habit is just analyzing ourselves. Where do I stand? What am I doing? Is this the right thing? Once we start analyzing, it will make a huge difference. Let me tell you a recent event. I eat only organic. I eat at least 2-3 vegetables in a day, only night chapati, very less rice and everything. So I went to a nutritionist recently for my daughter. She plays badminton. So after consulting her, I said, even I want to check. I have my tummy. It is still not going completely inside. I eat only good things, this and that. I go for exercise. I go for walking, everything I told her. Then after that, she said, can I speak now? I said, okay. So she asked me, tell me what all do you eat? So I said, morning I have 1 cup coffee by 6:37, and then again I have 1 cup of coffee at 9, and then I eat my breakfast, and my 11 o'clock 1 more coffee, and then lunch, and then 4 o'clock green tea, and then 6 o'clock coffee, and then 7:30 dinner and over. So she said me that I'm at least drinking 1 liter of milk first, and I'm at least taking 100 grams of sugar. The moment I realized I'm taking 100 grams of sugar every single day, it created a huge impact. So first realize it and then start cutting down. Then I stopped drinking coffee completely, and it became disaster from 4 cups to 6 cups. So do not do that. From 4 cups, make it to 3 cups, and then 2 cups, and then 1 cup, and continue 1 cup for quite some time, and then slowly stop it. So it's just my experience, what I faced. So first analyze, realize, and then start taking small action. Thank you, and over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. My next question is for Grace. I want you to imagine, Grace, that you're a preschool teacher of kids about maybe 5-6 years old. What's the best way to teach them what gratitude is and what it means and how they can practice it?
I always feel that I always know that we should start teaching our kids the proper way. So being a preschool teacher is really an advantage for me. Teaching gratitude to me, for them, would just be saying thank you when somebody gave them something, because it's really tangible, like a toy, for example, or a food, for example. Just having that habits incorporated, perpetual habits incorporated into that practice would really help them to really understand what gratitude means. So, for example, when you give them like a toy during the playtime, right, in school, they should be able to perpetually say thank you to you. It becomes a routine, but then again, that's when they understand that practice of gratitude. And when they grow older, they soon realize that there is really a good meaning of having that practice incorporated into their routine, right? So that will be my way of teaching small children what gratitude is and how to practice it daily. Back to you, Jim. Toastmaster Jim.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. My next question is for Piyush. And Piyush, I'd like to ask you, over the past few years, what has been your most perpetual habit that you've noticed?
Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. The last few years were a bit unique in a sense that we were pretty much boxed for a couple of months where there were COVID restrictions. I used to run a lot, especially during my college days where I picked up most of my running habit. And I continued that even in my daily routine. So that's something I tried my best to continue, although for a period of time because of the COVID situations, I couldn't run, but I was still running on and off. And earlier this year, I completed a half marathon in 3 minutes more than my usual time. So that's pretty good. One other thing I picked up and I tried to do on and off is being grateful. Something that I heard in another Toastmasters, and it was really intriguing for me that being grateful helps you become happy and helps you in so many ways. So I try to practice being grateful, providing feedback to coworkers, and being thankful to my family members as well as my coworkers. So these are the two things I would say I have picked up, not so perpetually, but trying my best to be grateful every day and trying my best to keep running every day. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster Jim.
Thank you very much. Thank you. My next question, I would like to present to a guest if they would like to participate in this. And I was thinking of asking Shakrus, what is it that you're most looking forward to? What are you most looking forward to?
As a student, I'm looking forward to many opportunities to network my communication skills and other skills to develop those skills. And as a student, I'm really glad to have those opportunities and participate in those. And I really work hard to improve those things and to get into a good position. First of all, get into a good college. After that, studying, working hard there, and building so many networks, doing my daily targets, finishing those things, and after that, pursuing my MBA. After MBA, getting a campus placement. After now, the matter starts. After getting a campus placement, you are a gentleman now. You get a job, and now it's your thing to. You can go anywhere. It depends on your skills. How much skills you have, you can network that much. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. My next question, I'd like to ask Sangeetha. Since this club is Interpersonal Toastmasters, what is your best personality trait?
Thank you, Toastmaster, for the topic. So I believe my question is, what is my personality type?
Your best personality trait, the one that you feel most the best about. If somebody were to describe you, well, what's the first thing that you would say? What are you most proud of in terms of your personality?
Okay, well, now that we're talking about atomic habits, probably I can say about few habits that my friends associate me with. Like when Aguila was giving her speech and talking about her grandfather, having habits like drinking hot water every day, that is something I do that has become a perpetual habit to me, to drink warm water, at least half a liter of warm water every morning in empty stomach. That's one thing that my family knows and my friends know. And I eat a lot of fruits and veggies. I always carry at least 2 types of fruits to my college, to my workplace, so wherever I go. So that's something that people know. I love fruits. So that's one thing. And I love being active physically. I go running. I took part in marathons. I love hiking, being outdoors and being in the middle of nature. And this is another trait that I'm proud of having in my life. I think this is the kind of person probably that would anybody would say, having observed me over time. And these are simple things, but they're quite unique to me, I believe. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. My next question is for Catherine. And Catherine, I'd like to ask you, what is your favorite thing to do when you're getting ready to start your day?
Thank you, Toastmaster Jim. The favorite thing that I do when I'm starting my day is take a long walk. To have a walk quiet, just enjoy the breath of fresh air, the plants, and just feel the dew on my skin. That's my favorite thing to do. And what it does for me is it connects me with both myself and the supernatural. I'm therefore able to think about my day, to declutter my mind. And when that doesn't happen, I really feel like I'm missing something really important. That is exactly my favorite thing to do when I'm starting my day every morning. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Jim.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not sure how much more time I have, but
It's the last topic, Jim. We
okay,
can
very good.
close it and then move to the next section. Thank you. Piyush, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghu and Toastmaster Jim. I would like to continue what I was talking about in the beginning. We talked about the importance of the atomic habits, developing very small habits and having the impact of it over a certain period of time. Now, the question I left to the audience and I promised to talk about was that how do we persist those habits? So I'll briefly talk about another story. There was a boy named Jim. And this boy, when he was really small, he was stressed for some reason and he chewed his nail. All of a sudden, this relieved him. And over a period of time, that became his habit. He started chewing his nail even for no reason. And over a period of time, that became ingrained in his habit. And now he's trying to figure out, how do I get rid of this thing? How do I stop chewing my nails? So one fine day, he got an idea. He sets up an appointment with a manicurist, the person who does your nail and makes it look better. But this guy doesn't have nail, he chews it all. But he set himself the 3 weeks to grow the nails and resist the urge to not chew the nail. And he set that appointment and he had those 3 weeks for him. And that's his challenge. And that's something he created as a clue to remember to not chew his nails. And he succeeded. He didn't chew his nails for 3 weeks. He went to the manicurist and manicurist does his nails beautifully. His nail looks awesome. Next, he goes out and the people who he typically deal with, they look at his nail and say, awesome, Jim, how do you get your nails looking so good? That's really amazing. So now he has a new identity. He's a person who has a beautiful set of nails. So how did Jim left the habit of chewing nails? There are 2 elements that we talked about in this story. The first element is he designed his environment in a way that helps him get rid of that bad habit and start with something good. He also sorry, I lost my chain of thought. Just give me a moment. He also sets up an identity for himself of being someone who has beautiful nails. So imagine how this can help in your context. Let's say you're trying to run a marathon. What can you do to develop that habit? You can make sure that your running gear, your shoes are visible. You set up an alarm, something that reminds you to run a particular time of the day. You sign up for a marathon, something that reminds you to run. And then you associate yourself with an identity of the person who would do those habits. For example, if someone is trying to quit smoking, and if somebody asks them, do you smoke? And if the answer is, I'm trying to quit, that means you haven't associated yourself with the right identity. You are still associating yourself with an identity of smoker. But if your response is like, no, I'm not a smoker, that's liberating. You have disassociated yourself with an identity of smoker, and now you're thinking yourself as someone who doesn't smoke. So I will leave you with these two things. If you associate yourself, internalize the identity of a person who would have those habits, and design your environments in a way that it reminds you and it motivates you to develop that habits, these things will help you succeed and keep up with your atomic habits. If you're interested, you can read the book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I will leave the name in the message. And there, reading the book will give you much more ideas on how to cultivate and have those habits for a longer period of time. With this, let's move on to the evaluation section. And our very first evaluator is Toastmaster Catherine, who would evaluate our first speech. So I would invite Toastmaster Catherine to the evaluation. Toastmaster Catherine, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Piyush. Toastmaster Grace, congratulations on achieving your level on presentation with software. Today you use legible slides that were less cluttered and therefore unforgettable. There were beautiful colors, simple wording, and very meaningful. I cannot forget the perpetual joy that I had every time a new slide Grace on presenting very endearing slides for us. And now your speech, Grace. You started off by engaging us into the content of your speech, which was entirely about gratefulness and thankfulness. Your speech was clear, it was organized, it has a beautiful beginning, a great body, and a very unforgettable conclusion or ending. Your speech had practical application to the theme of the day, to the season worldwide. It was very relevant to today or to this season because we're walking into the thankful or the Thanksgiving season. Your speech had tips for each of us listeners, a keepsake, journaling, reaching out to one each week in simple ways. What would I have added to the very beautiful speech that you have given, Grace? The only thing I looked for or I thought was really relevant was a personal example of how this topic influenced or affected you in your journey toward thankfulness. I am thankful to our Toastmaster Jim, who had table topics, to give you a chance to show us how you would do this with young children. The only thing I would have listened to or I would have looked forward to, Grace, was knowing how thankfulness or gratitude in Grace's life had played out. Other than this, Grace, I have not seen a beautifully presented speech like you have done today. Congratulations.
Thank you, Toastmaster Catherine, for wonderful evaluation. And I'm sure Toastmaster Grace would be benefited by that and leverage that in her next coming up next few presentations. Moving on to our next evaluation, which will be delivered by Toastmaster Sangeeta. So I would invite Toastmaster Sangeeta to do the evaluations for the second speech. Toastmaster Sangeeta, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Piyush. And thank you very much, Speaker Aguila, for sharing your story with us about your grandfather, about your father, and about you, how you overcome the thyroid problem and how everything totally about your family. It was a great speech overall. You had clarity in what you wanted to present to the audience. You had clear-cut ideas, how you moved from grandfathers to your fathers and then to your life. And you had good vocal variety as well. And you had good gestures. You used your hands very well when you were talking. So it was in sync with what you were speaking. You were quite comfortable when you were delivering your speech. That was good. And you did have, you kept us interested in what you were talking about, because also it connected with, it was about people and their personal lives. So it could connect to people very well. So the topic was well chosen. Overall, it was really well delivered speech. Probably you could involve a bit more of pauses when you were talking. I felt you went a little fast. Probably you could pause now and then. So that would give audience more time to understand and digest what you were talking about. But overall, it was really good. Thank you very much for the speech, Agila. Back to you, Toastmaster Piyush.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sangeeta, for delivering the evaluation for Toastmaster Agila. I'm sure he would be benefited from the feedback and incorporate those feedbacks in future speeches. Let's move on to the other reports for today. The first report would be the grammarian report delivered by Distinguished Toastmaster Raghu. Over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Raghu, for the grammarian speech.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Piyush. No, I always dreaded the grammarian role, especially it needs a lot of attention and you need to understand English a lot. But I tried my best in this role. I'm playing an accountant and grammarian role today, and I will be presenting both of my reports now. I really love the fact that people use the word of the day perpetually. Our Toastmaster Grace, as a speaker in different sections, has used thrice, perpetually, twice, both in prepared speech and impromptu. And then she also used this word as a perpetual habits. Great job, Grace. Jim used perpetual once in his table topic when he was giving table topics. Piyush, he used it once, not so perpetually. Wonderful usage. Sangeeta, perpetual habits. Catherine, perpetual joy. The usage was good and keep using. One thing I would say, whether you use in the meeting or not doesn't matter. But this goes into your inner consciousness and you'll start using it at some point of life. And that happens with me. Some words I might not use in those meetings, but inadvertently, when it goes to meetings or writing emails, etc., that just flies up because it goes in your subconsciousness. I love your word that you said, good uses for toxic positivity. I see this toxic positivity with people who keep forcing on us, but that becomes so toxic that you want to get out of it. Gratitude journal, something that you maintain. And this is what I've learned from our beloved Grace. Ingrained is something that becomes a habit. Good usage by both Grace and Piyush. Okay. Now, there's something that I want us to get rid of, superlatives. Superlatives is killing what you're trying to tell. Small should have been smaller. Now also, when that you're talking about a person who died in some time, should have been even before his death, he used that as a brush. Thyroid dropped very much. It should have been thyroid levels have dropped extremely. Very, very important, should be extremely important. Very, very slowly, should have been at a slower pace. Network my communication skills would have been network. I want to network and improve my communication skills. I want you, some of you, to concentrate upon the sentence construction. Give some pauses, give some breaks. So it makes sense. Otherwise, you are throwing everything and then expecting others to catch it. Because as I always keep saying, your communication, your speech is for others to understand. So give a pause, take some time, break them into sentences, even if it is table topics. What I would say is take the 10 to 30 seconds necessary. When you take a pause, you can start speaking at a slower pace. When you start speaking at a slower pace, everything falls in place. And there was something when he was very small, it should have been when he was very young, or it should have been when he was younger. Very first evaluator, very beautiful, well delivered, well chosen by one evaluator. I would say stop using superlatives in your evaluation. I know it has adjectives to your evaluation or speech, but no, we are trying to evaluate or trying to help them. So we don't use superlatives, but just tell well delivered, but don't say very well delivered or something. We are not trying to praise them here. Now, when it comes to our counter report, people did good job. We are improving on that part, but still, I paid attention in the meeting. Grace, I really love the way that you came, clean your speech, but I caught an in your prepared speech. And once in your impromptu, you had certain one double. It was it which you repeated in your prepared speech. Sangeeta, you're improving, you're doing well, but when it comes to impromptu, you have that trouble. Maybe just go slow. You had 4 hours while you was giving speech objectives. When it comes to impromptu, it was about 2 and 4. But when it came to giving evaluation, it went up both in and doubles, and then evaluator 5 plus hours and became 5 plus. I'm not going to count more than 5. Agila, this is something that you may want to implement in your speech, because there were lot of doubles, hours in your prepared space. So pause, and when you pause, you will not be doing this. And impromptu, you had 2 hours. I believe your strength is impromptu. So try to see how you're able to do in impromptu and not in prepared speech. Maybe a practice will help you there. Piyush, you have numerous hours. But one thing is that other thing didn't turn up. You are clean, but just have a hold of these hours. I'm sure when you go slow, it will help you a lot. Gym, 5 plus hours, and then you had a couple of doubles. And the same thing, go slow, no hurry. We are in a Toastmaster meeting, no pass, no fail. Then Rakshat, you are clean and hours and ohms. The only problem is with your doubles. Slow. And then make your mind what you're going to talk about. 20 to 30 seconds, take the time and think of what you're going to talk about. And I'm sure that will help you a lot. But man, you're doing good on your asanams. Catherine, you're an 1 hour, you're clean, but try to please ensure your internet is clean. With that note, I wish you all the best. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Raghu, for taking up 2 roles. You are a perpetual source of motivation and learning for us. Really appreciate that. Our next timer report would be delivered by Distinguished Toastmaster Susan. Distinguished Toastmaster Susan, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I took the advantage of timing everything today, just to pay attention. So our Toastmaster of the day, Piyush, at first, your first session, 5 minutes and 25 seconds. Grammarian word of the day, 45 seconds. Grace's speech, 5 to 7 minutes, was 7:22. I have Aguila, 5 to 7 minutes, 5 minutes and 33 seconds. I then have the table topics. Aguila, prescribed time is 1 to 2 minutes, 1 minute 56 seconds. Grace, 1 minute 18. Piyush, 1 minute and 34. Shukruth, 1 minute and 6. Sangeeta, 1 minute and 20. And Catherine Littleshy at 52 seconds. We then go on to the Toastmaster of the day with the second portion of the theme, 4 minutes and 23 seconds. The evaluators, 2 to 3 minutes. Catherine, 2 minutes and 28 seconds. Sangeeta, 1 minute and 41 seconds. For the grammarian, Raghu, you spoke for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. We usually allow 3 minutes, but there was a lot of great material in there, useful material. And on the counter, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. And that would conclude my report for today. Back to you, Piyush.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Susan. This was
I think I completed an icebreaker with my reports.
All right, so we have one of the two guests still around. I think Ajay had to leave and he left his phone number, so I'm sure we'll follow with him and figure out if and when he's interested in joining our club. So with that, I would invite Sukrut to talk about how he felt about this Toastmaster meeting.
Yeah, I felt very good. I'm really happy to participate in your meeting. And I felt so comfortable to mingle with all. And it's good to be here next time also. Thank you.
That's perfect.